Hello, welcome to this video. My name is Miriam and today I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about my 2021 challenge, which is reading 365 books. I'm going to tell you a bit more about the rules I've set for myself and my tactics. Because if you're going to read 365 books, you have to come up with a plan. But first, it might be nice to know why I'm going to do this challenge. A couple of years ago I read an article about someone who read 400 books in a year, and I was like, whoa, that's amazing. I thought I was an avid reader and I read about 70 or 80 books a year, and I know that's not bad, especially not in comparison to people around me, but still I thought, whoa, I want that too. So every year I set a higher goal for myself. I think it started with 100 books and then 125, and last year in 2019 I read 201 books, and for this year I actually set my goal to 150, but then in August I hit that goal and I thought, well, let's see if I can get to 250, and I'm well on my way to that, so hopefully that will work. And that was also the time when I decided I was going to read 365 books in 2021. And that brings me to my first rule, because that was actually the reason why I set my reading goal to 150 books. My first rule is it has to be fun. Reading shouldn't become a chore or something I have to do in order to reach my goal, but reading should be fun. Sometimes it's not bad if reading is a bit of a chore. Sometimes if I'm in a reading slump, I really have to set myself to reading and then I fall in love with it all over again. But if it becomes like that for a month, if I'm a month like I have to read, but not enjoy it, then I will quit. I don't think that's going to happen. Let's just hope it's not going to happen. Another rule is that work is more important. I think I totally forgot to mention the job I do now in my introduction video, but I work as a communications assistant for a non-profit organization. I do that part-time, and I also work as an author. I've written 6 books myself so far, so that's also important. My 2 jobs are more important than completing this reading challenge. And that's my third rule. Spending time with family and friends, having a social life, doing things is more important than reading. Now you might guess, but how in the world is she going to read 365 books if she wants reading to be fun, and especially if she wants to have a social life and work life as well? Well, that's where my plan comes into play, so let me tell you a bit more about my plan. Actually, a friend of mine suggested, when I told her I was going to read 365 books, he said, but why don't you read all thin books, like books that have 60 or 70 pages? And no, that's considered cheating. I'm not doing that. I want to enjoy the book, reading the books, and I enjoy big books as well. So I will probably mix it up a bit, like reading smaller books and bigger books. I usually set a bit more reading goals than just reading a certain amount of books. I have different reading goals as well, and one of them is reading a certain number of pages. So I'm not entirely sure what the number of pages is going to be for 2021, but I also have to read big books. Every Thursday I go to bed around 7 or 7:30, and that's a reading night. So I go to bed, but I will read in bed, or I will sit in this chair, do 2 to 3 hours of reading. Usually I can finish a book in that time. It depends how far I've come in a book so far. Usually on Sunday I read a lot, but I'm a Christian, so I don't work on Sundays, also not for my writing job. Sundays are my day off, so Sundays are for reading. Once in a while I will do a readathon, pick a day and read the entire day, so that usually helps towards my reading goal. And one rule for 2021, and that's also a bit why I do this challenge, that more often I'm going to grab a book instead of my phone. Well, this year my average time on my phone was 2 to 3 hours a day, and sometimes even 4 hours. So think about how much you can read in those 2 to 3 hours which you will spend on Instagram or other things. That's a lot. So in a way it's also to distance myself more from my phone and enjoy reading and immerse myself in different worlds. Lastly, I've also tried to get ahead. Planned a readathon actually on the 1st or 2nd of January. I'm not entirely sure about the day yet. Usually New Year's Day is for visiting family, but due to COVID restrictions that's probably not going to happen. So why shouldn't I dedicate that day to reading? I mean, that would be a great start of the year, wouldn't it? I've already picked out my first read of the year. It's this book. It's a Dutch book. It's called Help, Mom is Verliefd, which is translated Help, Mom is in Love, and it was written by me. And it may sound a bit strange that I'm reading my own book, but I always do this, but a while after it gets published. So this book was published in August this year, and I haven't read it yet since it came out, so I usually enjoy reading. And maybe you're like, but that's quite a big book. It has 300 pages, 300 something pages, but look, I hope you can see it, the font isn't really difficult to read, so I think I will finish this one in a day, whether I'm doing a readathon or not. I am still in doubt though about the second book I will read in 2021. I'm really looking forward on one hand to reading The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. But as you can see, it's a really big book. On one hand, it will probably feel great to finish a big book on like the 1st or 2nd day of the year, but on the other hand, in the meantime I can probably read 2 other books. So the other book I'm considering reading first is Anxious People by Fredrik Backman. I love his books. I've read 2 books of him so far, A Man Called Ove and Bear Town, and I absolutely enjoyed them, and I'm really looking forward to this one as well. And this one is not so big. Maybe you can help me pick my second read of the year. Should it be Anxious People or The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes? So maybe you'll wonder why not first read Anxious People and then The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes? And that's actually because it's quite a long story. Hopefully I can tell quickly. Like I said in my introduction video, I go to England a lot. Usually I come back with about 20 books or something like that. But as you can imagine, I couldn't go to England in 2020. So in November I allowed myself to order 10 books from Waterstones. I sort of want to keep them. I don't want to finish them all in January and have no English books left to read. Of course I can order new books, but I don't want to do that either. But hopefully I can visit England really soon in 2021. But well, yeah, we don't know yet. So I'd like to keep my books a bit longer. Like, I hope you understand it. But maybe I will decide to read Anxious People and then this Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. It's, well, 2 books, it's not that bad, I think. I hope you'd like to hear more about my challenge. And if you want to follow me on this journey, consider subscribing to my channel. I post a video every Thursday evening, 8 PM Central European Time. Next week's video will be about Christmas reads, so be sure to check in again if you're still looking for a nice book to read during Christmas. I hope you have a great week and happy reading!